Palazzo. Urban palaces wrapped solid stone walls around a central courtyard. The main floor held formal rooms for guests and ceremonies, while workers or renters lived in smaller rooms above. Tall windows faced the street, while kitchens and staircases opened to the courtyard, which provided light, drainage, and space for carts and horses. This mix of public display and private function shaped the design of later apartment blocks from Seville to Turin. Haussmannian. Baron Haussmann set building heights between 5 and 7 stories, added balconies on the second and fifth floors, and topped roofs with matching zinc slopes. Stone facades were lined up to create a calm, uniform look, while back courtyards managed trash and deliveries. Inside, wealthier tenants lived on the grand middle floors, while small attic rooms housed servants. This style became a symbol of neat European city streets, from Buenos Aires to Hanoi. Victorian Mansion. Fireproof red brick flats replaced Georgian terraces as gas lighting and modern sewers arrived. Bay windows and cast-iron balconies break the long facades. Party wall stair cores let middle-class tenants rent full dwellings rather than single rooms. Laundry attics and coal cellars reduced domestic staff needs, pushing London, Glasgow, and colonial cities such as Melbourne towards self-contained urban living. Tenement. Narrow 25-foot lots packed 4 flats per floor around air shafts barely a meter wide. 5- or 6-story walk-ups relied on street hydrants and shared yard toilets until 1901 reforms forced indoor plumbing and fire stairs. Cramped yet affordable, the tenement plan housed millions of migrants and set the stoop-front brick look still seen on Manhattan's Lower East Side and San Juan Hill relics. Shikumen. Stone gate row houses line narrow lanes called Lailong. 2- or 3-story dwellings hide behind arched gateways. Inner light wells and rear courtyards temper Shanghai's humid summers. Lanes form a semi-private social buffer where neighbors cook, wash, and chat. About 1/3 survive, many converted into cafes and design shops in Xintiandi and Tianzifang. Chawl. Built by mill owners, a chawl is a 4-story brick or stone block with a long veranda on each floor. One-room units open onto the shared gallery. Toilets and water taps sit at the ends. Life spills onto the veranda for cooking and festivals, creating dense social networks at up to 1,500 people per hectare. Redevelopment debates pit heritage and affordability against new high-rise projects. Vecindad or Cortiço. Former mansions, warehouses, or purpose-built shells ring narrow patios packed with rental rooms. Shared sinks and baths line open corridors. Ground floors often take small workshops or taquerias. Though sometimes stigmatized, Vecindads foster tight communities and keep historic centers populated. Rehabilitation programs in Mexico City and Salvador da Bahia now add plumbing while preserving the communal patio life. Tong Lau. Shop houses of 3 to 6 stories mix retail ground floors with front balconies called verandas. A central light well brings air to deep plans. Rear blocks extend if the plot allows. Post-war clearances raised many blocks, yet rows in Sham Shui Po and Wan Chai show a hybrid Cantonese Victorian style, defined by window grills, tiled columns, and neon shop signs. Courala. Behind a plain street wall lies a deep lot ringed by wooden galleries that overlook a central courtyard. Each flat gains daylight from the patio, and a semi-shared balcony for laundry and conversation. Early corrals shared wells and latrines. Modern retrofits add lifts and bathrooms. The form underpinned Madrid's working-class districts and influenced later social housing courtyards across Latin America. Garden. 2- to 3-story walk-ups cluster around landscaped courts, so every flat gets cross-ventilation and green views. Stairwells stay open air. Parking hides at the perimeter. Density doubles detached suburbs, yet remains half inner-city blocks, suiting early FHA loans and Bauhaus Siedlung estates. The The model seeded countless post-war suburbs from Queens to Cologne. Hof. Deep perimeter blocks enclose large shared gardens with laundries, kindergartens, and libraries. Street facades show sober brick or stucco. Courtyard elevations sport balconies and gallery access. Karl Marx Hof stretches over 1 kilometer, proving a single superblock can mix 1,300 flats with social services. The type linked Red Vienna's housing reform to Berlin's Weimar-era estates. Danchi. 4 to 5-story reinforced concrete walk-ups rise in park-like compounds. Tatami-based unit plans rotate for optimal airflow. Elevators are omitted to save cost. Amenities, kindergarten, bathhouse, and corner store, sit within a 10-minute walk. Although aging, Danchi still house a third of Tokyo's suburbs, and pilot retrofits now add lifts and energy upgrades to the beloved but gray mid-century blocks. Bauhaus Slab. Flat roofs, ribbon windows, and white plaster facades break with historic ornament. Pilates lift the ground floor for gardens. Stairwells sit on the street edge for daylight. Gropius's Dessau-Turton estate and Ernst May's Frankfurt projects prove minimalist form could meet tight budgets, influencing modernist slabs on every continent. Le Corbusier Unité, a Béton Brut megablock raised on Pilotis Pac's 337 duplex flats, internal streets every third floor, a gym, and a rooftop kindergarten. Brise Soleil color panels tune sun control. Deep balconies act as private outdoor rooms. Clones in Nantes, Berlin, and Buenos Aires tested high-rise collectivism and coined the phrase vertical garden city. Brutalist Tower. Raw concrete facades, recessed windows, and sculptural service cores signal factory-produced honesty. Examples include London's Trellick Tower and Belgrade's Genex Tower. Communal decks, garbage chutes, and district heating promised modern convenience, yet maintenance gaps soon tarnished the ideology. Today, many towers undergo insulation wraps and lobby makeovers rather than demolition. Plattenbau or Panelák. Factory-made concrete panels crane into 5 to 17-story blocks. Standard series add balconies, 2 lifts, and garbage chutes. Estates cluster around tram stops and schools, hitting 300 dwellings per hectare. Energy retrofits now cover blank facades with insulation and color, but the modular skeleton remains the backbone of Eastern European housing. HDB Super-Block. 12 to 50 stories high-rise slabs group around void decks that host shops, clinics, and community events. Flat types from 2-room flexi to 5-room improved fit modular grids so units can merge or subdivide. 85% of residents live within a 10-minute walk of a hawker center and MRT stop, proving state-built density can pair livability with ownership. Pencil Tower. On Hong Kong's tight urban plots, ultra-thin towers known as pencil towers soar 40 stories or more, sometimes just 12 meters wide. These towers rise alongside slab and cruciform blocks, using double-loaded corridors to fit as many units as possible. Concrete shear wall cores stabilize them against typhoons, while building codes that count bay windows and balconies as floor space have led to facades bristling with glass projections. Together, they form the dense vertical landscape of modern Hong Kong. Postmodern Tower. Colored spandrels, set-back crowns, and playful arches soften the international-style box. Retail podiums hide parking, and amenity decks move social life skyward. Curtain walls meet energy codes with low-E glass, exporting Miami and Vancouver's skyline aesthetic to Kuala Lumpur and Tel Aviv. Condomínio Clube. Multiple towers rise inside private grounds packed with pools, gyms, and party rooms. A perimeter wall and guardhouse control access, turning leisure into an on-site service. While criticized for segregation, Condomínio Clubes dominate the skylines of São Paulo, Rio, and Goiânia, housing middle-class families seeking security amid urban sprawl. Podium-Tower. Slim residential towers rise from retail or transit podiums that connect directly to subways or BRT hubs. The podium hides mechanical floors and services, while the tower above maximizes views with glass facades. Common in dense cities like Vancouver and Bangkok, this model concentrates development around stations and turns mobility into real estate value. Industrial. Redundant factories, mills, and warehouses gain apartments by sandblasting brick, exposing steel beams and inserting mezzanines. Large steel sash windows, open floor plates, and visible ductwork turn former workspaces into live work prestige. Cities from New York's Soho to London's Shoreditch leverage zoning tweaks to spark creative sector renewal. Silo. Obsolete grain silos are cored and fitted with double-height flats, keeping the concrete shell and adding new windows like punched portholes. Shared sky bridges link silo stacks to adjacent storage halls, creating dramatic atriums while preserving harbor silhouettes. The model pioneered at Copenhagen's Gemini residences now appears in port cities worldwide. Micro. Units under 30 square meters use sliding partitions, fold-away beds, and built-in storage to maximize usable space. Shared lounges, kitchens, or laundry rooms trade private area for affordability near job centers. Building codes wrestle with minimum dwelling sizes while developers target students and single professionals. Capsule. Kisho Kurokawa's Nakagin Tower stacked 140 prefabricated steel capsules around concrete service cores. Each 10 square meter pod held a bed, desk, and molded bathroom. Although now demolished, the plug-in concept inspired modular hotels and emergency housing worldwide, proving ultra-compact living could be mass-produced like consumer goods. Co-living. Large houses or new mid-rises offer private sleeping pods with shared kitchens, gyms, and event spaces. App-based leasing, all-inclusive bills, and weekly cleaning appeal to mobile professionals. Critics question long-term value, yet high-service co-living fills a gap between micro-flats and short-stay hotels in tight urban markets. CLT. Cross-laminated timber panels and glue-lam frames reach 8 to 18 stories while slashing embodied carbon. Factories CNC mill wall and floor panels to millimeter accuracy. Sites assemble them in weeks. Exposed wood improves acoustics and comfort, while charring design meets strict fire codes. Vertical forest. Bosco Verticale's balconies host full-size trees that shade glazing, absorb CO2, and cool microclimates. Automated drip systems feed from treated gray water. Arborists rappel for pruning. Variants in Nanjing, Sydney, and Eindhoven recast apartment towers as mini ecosystems rather than inert envelopes. Passive, super-insulated envelopes, triple glazing, and heat recovery ventilation cut heating demand below 15 kilowatt-hours per square meter per year. Airtight construction pairs with south-facing windows and shading louvers. Thousands of certified blocks now dot Germany, Austria, and Scandinavia, proving ultra-low energy can scale from single houses to 200 flat estates. Superblock. A 400-meter superblock stores 6,000 to 10,000 residents in slab towers around schools and clinics. Traffic stays at the perimeter. Green corridors fill the interior. Brazilia's super quadras echo the Soviet model, swapping concrete panels for pilates and sunshades suited to Brazil's climate. New Zealand State Flats. 2-story brick walk-ups set back in garden courts at 6 dwellings per acre. Gable roofs, individual laundry lines, and carports mirror detached house comforts, while boosting density. Post-war immigration booms made the type a staple of Auckland and Wellington suburbs. South African Courtyard Flats. Art Deco or early modernist facades. Ring light wells that supply scarce cross-ventilation. Later social pressures added security grills and gated entries, turning once-open corridors into fortified yards. Preservation efforts now balance heritage mosaics with safety upgrades. Gecekondu Rise. Informal one-story Gecekondu houses incrementally stacked to 5 or 8-story concrete frames as land values rise. Municipal amnesties legalize structures, later formalized with lifts, cladding, and title deeds. The process illustrates bottom-up densification in seismic, high-demand cities. Skybridge. Linked high-rises share elevated parks that brace wind loads and host jogging tracks 30 stories up. Integrating structure and amenities allows slimmer towers while adding community space. Pinnacle at Duxton's 26th floor Sky Garden set the model now echoed in Shenzhen and Chongqing. 3D concrete. Robotic nozzles lay layer upon layer of printable concrete, cutting labor, waste, and complex formwork. Surfaces snap into cavities cast mid-print. Early pilots focus on small offices, but multi-story tests signal a possible shift toward on-site additive mass housing. Floating. Modular flats sit on concrete pontoons that rise with sea level. District heat pipes and fiber data cables run through flexible joints. Gangways double as public promenades. Projects in IJberg and Harnischpolder show flood-resilient density in delta cities short on land. Thanks for watching! Which apartment building styles did I miss? Let me know in the comments down below. Also, if you watched it till the end, then be sure to hit the like button. It helps pushing the video out.